So we've got here is the new Ozark Trail crossbar lock knife. This is the one in 14C28N. This is the Tanto point. They only made this blue and brown version in the Tanto point, but what I've done here is I've actually, if the camera will focus on that, I've sharpened it into more of a, and to have a little bit more belly. I've just sort of gotten rid of the Tanto-ness of it there. Just because, A, I'm not a huge fan of Tantos in general, and specifically for this cutting test, I just wanted it to be a little bit more objective and just sort of remove that factor from it. So I've given this a actual double hair whittling edge with the Work Sharp guided field sharpener down here. So yeah, we'll see how it does. I'm not endorsed in any way by Work Sharp. I just happened to use that one to do this. So yeah, this one is double hair whittling sharp. We'll see how much cardboard we can cut before we start to really lose sharpness. So let's go and test it on some paper here, just to show that it really is extremely sharp. See if I can do that fancy twisty cut. So yeah, it's sharp. It is extremely sharp. So let's go ahead and get some cardboard cut. I'm going to make about 25 cuts and then test the sharpness, 25 more, test the sharpness, and so on until we get to 100 and see where we're at. So we're at 10. This is very easy so far. Very minimal resistance. Cutting very cleanly. There's a little bit of, I can feel a little bit of drag. Part of that is probably due to the fact that it's a hollow grind. I've actually lost count at this point, but I'm just going to cut this up the rest of the way, and I'm going to say that we're probably getting pretty close to 25, but I will make sure to keep better count from this point on. Okay, let's see what we have. It feels pretty fine. We've still got a very good working edge on this thing. I can tell there's definitely a little more bite, a little bit of wear on that edge, but overall it's still perfectly fine, still perfectly acceptable working edge. This finish is not liking this cardboard very much. It's just sort of, it's sticking to it quite a bit. Now I'm cutting through tape with every single cut here, but yeah, we're still sharp enough to kind of take some hair off. Not the best, but yeah, still an okay working edge. I would still use this, just not for finer sort of tasks. So let's get another piece of cardboard here. Let's make 25 more cuts. Like I said, I lost count on the last round, but I'll try to do a better count on this round. Keep sliding out a little bit. It's not the knife being dull, it's just me being dull. I think that was like 7 or so, maybe. A lot more resistance now. Alright, that's like 19. I'm just going to get it up to 25 real fast. This cardboard will come to me here. We're definitely in trouble here. This is not cutting very cleanly anymore. Alright, that's about all I'm going to be able to do. So I can definitely feel we do not have a whole lot of an edge anymore. Let's do our paper test here. It's actually not too bad. It's just having much difficulty cutting through cardboard at this point. Let's try a little bit further up the edge. Yeah, still not great. A little better, but not great. But the edge that has taken the majority of the impact back here is pretty dull. It doesn't really want to bite into paper at this point. At least not well. So it is still cutting paper to a certain extent, but it is not shaving arm hair at all anymore. Except for up here closer to the tip where we haven't done as much work with it. But yeah, this is not bad. The results I'm getting are really not bad for this knife. This is obviously not a realistic use situation, especially for me. Like, I don't just go around cutting cardboard all day, so most of the tasks that I put my knife up to, usually I'm actually putting more stress and wear on the locking mechanism than on the edge itself, because a lot of the time I'm cutting through, like, plastic drain pipe, stuff like that, and so I have to use quite a bit of force to get through it just because it's thick material, and so I'm putting quite a bit of stress on the components of the knife. But it's not really a huge challenge for the edge itself. Now, another thing that I do with landscaping is I cut a lot of weed fabric for hardscape stuff like that, or for when I'm laying down river rock. And that stuff is very abrasive. That will wear your edge down quickly. So what I'll probably do is throughout the next week, I will carry this knife, I'll get it back to double hair whittling sharp, and I will see how much work I can do cutting through weed fabric if I do any this week, and just see how well this edge holds up, see if I'm still enjoying using it by the end of the week. So there's just a little rudimentary test of this steel. The fact that I was able to get it to double hair whittling sharp does tell me that it is at least okay steel. It's really not possible to get super cheap steel to double hair whittling sharp, especially not with a cheap sharpener like this. So, yeah, it's at least okay steel. I don't have a heat treat testing machine. You know, I don't have one of those fancy Rockwell testers, but from what I can tell, this seems to be an okay steel. I will look for other YouTubers' videos on this steel and see what they think. But yeah, so far, not too bad. And I know that the factory edge on this knife would not have done this. The factory edge was okay. It was like sharp enough to shave a little bit of hair off your arm, but it was not this sharp. So yeah, and part of the wear of this may have been due to the angle at which I sharpened it, but it looks to me like I haven't sharpened this to a super shallow angle. It seems to be a fairly normal angle. I think it is actually this is like a 20-degree guide on this, and I know I'm a little bit steeper, so I'm probably closer to like that 24-degree mark. So yeah, I think it's a reasonable angle that most people would sharpen to. It's not something super thin or super thick. So yeah, pretty cool. I decided after ending the last video that it would probably actually be a good idea for me to show me bringing this back to double hair whittling sharp, or at least close to it, from the condition that the edge was in. So right now, the edge is not in very good shape because, you know, I've been cutting through a ton of cardboard. But I want to see if I can get this thing back to double hair whittling sharp just with ceramic and strop. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna do a few strokes on the ceramic here at the angle that I've been sharpening at. And since this is just abrasive wear to the edge, it's not like chipping or anything like that, or it's not burr peeling or anything. It should be fairly fast and easy to get this back to a double hair whittling edge. It shouldn't take very long. I think I'm probably mostly there. I just want to give it a few more passes just to make sure, and then I'll take it to the strop and see what we've got. So far, I've been fairly impressed with this sharpener. At first, I wasn't getting the best results with it, but as is usually the case, I just had to get used to it, get used to how it works, get used to how to move between these different stones, and as you all have seen, I've actually been able to produce a fairly decent edge with it at this point. So, happy for that. Alright, let's see what we've got here. It definitely feels better. Take it to the strop here. Okay, we're probably getting fairly close here. I'm going to go and test it here in a second. And I think, just based on how the edge is feeling, that we should be close. We should be pretty much back to at least hair whittling, if not double hair whittling. Yeah, I think we're there. I'm going to actually grab a hair here and see what we can do. I'll try to show it on camera. Probably won't work just because it, hairs are very fine, and this camera has a hard time focusing even on large things. So, okay, single hair whittling is towards the follicle. Yeah, we're definitely at single hair whittling. I do have kind of coarse hair, which does make it easier to get, which does make it easier to whittle hair, but still, it's one of those things that, although it might be easier with some types of hair than others, it's still something you can't really fake. Okay, so yeah, we're back to double hair whittling sharp here. I'm going to try to show that on camera, if I can. Get a fresh hair here with a little bit of paint. Okay. This is a finer hair, so I'm going to have a little more fun with this. Goodness. It actually might be able to focus on that if I do it right. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this whittled and then see if I can make it focus on this once I've done it. I'm actually going to do this off camera so I can focus on it more and I'm not just swapping out the hair for another hair. Actually going to get a coarser hair still from my head too, for demonstration purposes here. There we go. Only head hair was used in this video. Goodness. Is this even going to focus? Here, let's get a piece of paper. Please focus. Thank you. Okay, so there you go. As you can probably see, there is single hair whittling. And now let's go for double. Okay, so sorry about that. My dad is mowing and he got really close to where I'm recording, but as you can see, there is double hair whittling sharp. So yeah, after cutting through cardboard probably close to 50 times, all it took was a little bit of ceramic and strop, and this thing is back to double hair whittling sharp. So, hope you all enjoyed this video, and make sure to check out my other videos. I have mostly just reviews of knives, other stuff like that, but I hope to do a little more testing like this in the future. So, like I said, hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.